It's on!
Hello, everybody. It's on, and it's time for another episode of Watching SWF. Let's see what's happening in the world of Total Extreme Wrestling. Last night's SWF Elite was the first episode in SWF's new program. It was held at the Minnesota Coliseum and drew 9,029 fans. Feedback has been pretty good. Most people seem to have enjoyed the show, where Des Davids defeated Joey Morgan in the main event. SWF Elite achieved a 2.9 TV rating and was shown on USA Sports 1. In some TCW news, things look bright for Aaron Andrews, as he is being reported as one of the official locker room leaders within TCW. This puts him in a position of power and authority backstage and shows just how much the company sees in Andrews. Won a Hurricane Championship win. In breaking news, Wana Hurricane has just won the QAW World title for the second time. She regained the title by defeating Danielle Sweetheart at QAW Star Show 2022. Welcome to SWF Supreme TV. We are live in front of 11,600 Supreme fans in Cloverfield. On tonight's show, we will see the next stage of the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament when Angry Gilmore and ZWB take on the Awesomeness. In our main event, Joey Morgan will try to end the Dark Reaper's reign of terror when he takes on Scythe. In further action, we'll see the top contender for the world title, Remo, in action, and the top contender hopeful, Des Davids, will be taking on Ranger. We are starting the show with action, so let's go to the ring, where we have El Jaguar and Masked Cougar from RIPW kicking things off. These are two shooting star division hopefuls, with Masked Cougar being more of the veteran than El Jaguar. They start things off with some fast and furious action, whipping each other around the ring and trying to springboard off the ropes. The action is going back and forth, with neither competitor getting the upper hand here. El Jaguar twists the arm of Masked Cougar, and Masked Cougar flips around to reverse the hold. El Jaguar goes into the ropes, and he is tossed to the outside by Masked Cougar, who springboards off and dives over the top. Both men are on the floor, but when they get to their feet, El Jaguar does a moonsault off the apron. Darren Smith gets both men back into the ring, where Masked Cougar gets put on the mat and Jaguar goes to the top rope, but he misses his high-risk maneuver. Masked Cougar covers and a near fall. Both men are slow to get to their feet, but El Jaguar is up first and he takes control, trying to hit the Jaguar suplex, but Masked Cougar reverses it and hits his finishing move, I Am Cougar, Hear Me Roar, and that's it. Masked Cougar wins with a pinfall. After that wild showing by El Jaguar and Masked Cougar, the Supreme owner Jerry Eisen makes his way to the ring for an announcement. He says he's disappointed that his brother's show, Elite, embarrassed the Supreme Wrestling Federation, and he's embarrassed that some of the Supreme stars would compete on that show. Jerry continues by saying that any Supreme star that competes on Elite will be given a 15% fine on their pay. Furthermore, all stipulations for matches on SWF Elite will not be recognized as valid, and this includes the so-called Elite bracket of the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament and any title shots. Primus Allen's music plays, and Allen comes to the ring to confront Jerry Eisen about his SWF North American title shot. Jerry smiles and says his word as owner is final, but he might be willing to make a deal. Primus Allen is known as a destructive force in the SWF, but Jerry Eisen wants him to become a supreme force. If Allen agrees to become his supreme force and vows to keep SWF belts under SWF control, he'll make sure that Allen gets his title shot. Allen agrees with a firm handshake. I don't know what it means for SWF Elite if all of the Supreme Stars are going to be fined just for wrestling on the show. But we have our next matchup, and Lenny Brown comes to the ring, followed by the SWF World Title's top contender, Remo. And Remo goes to work right away. He is just dominating this match against Lenny Brown. It's extremely short and extremely brutal when finally, under 3 minutes, Remo hits Lenny Brown with the Destroyer and gets the 3 count. Remo's going to stick around for the next match as Ranger comes to the ring, followed by Des Davids. And Des Davids is still trying to make a name for himself, and Remo's looking on as this winning streak has really given Des Davids a argument in why he should face off against Remo for that top contender spot.
There's the bell. This match is off to a hot start with both men brawling. Ranger and Des Davids trade punches, suplexes, and slams, with neither taking full control of this contest. With Ranger's slight height and reach advantage, he drops Des Davids to a knee. Ranger builds momentum on the ropes, but Davids reverses it by tossing him over the top. Davids follows Ranger to the outside. He looks like he's going to smash Ranger's head in the guardrail as Rick Young tries to get the match back between the ropes. Bill Viber doesn't understand why Des Davids didn't use the ring post to finish this thing. Ranger tries to brawl his way back into this one, but Davids maintains control and tosses Ranger back inside. That may have been a mistake, as Ranger takes control when they lock up in the middle of the ring. Ana Garcia comments that Ranger is showing why he is a great singles competitor. More power moves and near falls are traded between the competitors. Ranger locks in a deadly choke, but Davids powers out. More quick action as they bounce off the ropes. Ranger tries a big boot, but Davids ducks it and surprises his opponent with a quarterback sack. Ranger is down for a 3 count, and Davids wins by pinfall.
Des Davids leaves the ring after winning his match while Remo tries to intimidate him and climbs in the ring. Remo is shouting that the ring is his, so Des Davids looks to the crowd and takes a microphone. Davids challenges Remo to a match right here, right now, to determine the SWF World Title top contender. Remo nods, but attacks Des Davids before he can enter the ring. Remo furiously beats on Davids for a minute, but the world title champion Rocky Golden and SWF legend Jack Bruce run in and cause Remo to retreat. All 4 Supreme Stars have microphones as Rocky Golden asks Remo what it will take to give Davids his match. Remo says Davids needs to win one more match by an opponent of his choosing, and someone needs to pin Remo. Jack Bruce says he'd be happy to do that, and Remo says he'd take on both the legend and the champ. Rocky Golden first confirms with Des Davids that he's willing to join him and Bruce to earn this match. Davids agrees and says he just wants to compete and get another shot at the SWF World Title. Golden tells Remo to find a partner for a tag team match and to select an opponent for Davids. Remo says that if the details get worked out with the Eisen Brothers, Remo will happily show why he's the top contender and future world title champion. The crowd is excited here as we go to our next matchup, Deaver Arnold versus Brandon James. Brandon James is coming to the ring with Chrissy Angel, of course, but he just seems to be following behind him as he walks angrily to get in and face his opponent. The bell rings and Brandon James goes after Deaver Arnold right away. Brandon James looks like he is taking control, but Deaver Arnold is able to duck a big punch, get a vicious kick to the back, bounce off the ropes and hit an elbow, and that makes Brandon James roll to the outside of the ring. After a quick pose to the crowd, Deaver Arnold bounces off the ropes and attempts a flying crossbody, but Brandon James walks out of the way. With Arnold on the floor, Brandon James walks around the ring as the ref tells him to take the match back inside. Chrissy Angel takes the opportunity to taunt and kick Deaver Arnold, but James tells her to quit interfering before tossing Arnold back into the ring. Bill Vibert finds this hilarious, but Ana Garcia finds it distasteful for a woman to be treated this way. Back in the ring, Brandon James slows things down with some technical holds. Deaver Arnold forces a break by reaching the ropes and uses his speed and some well-timed high-risk moves to turn the momentum. In spite of his size, Arnold brings Brandon James to the mat and Chrissy Angel is up on the apron, but that just distracts James. Referee Darren Smith tries to break up the argument between wrestler and manager, but this allows Deaver Arnold to surprise Brandon James with a back body drop, drop kick, and bulldog, setting up Deaver's cannonball senton. Arnold is up on the top turnbuckle and Angel shakes the top rope, allowing Brandon James to finish the match with a big money move. And after winning his match, Brandon James does not seem very happy with his manager, even though she helped him get the victory, and James tells Chrissy Angel to follow him to the back. Who's managing who here? And now we take you backstage for an interview. Damian Carville asks Eric Eisen about his role as Elite owner and his thoughts on last week's show. Carville then asks Eric about his brother and Supreme owner Jerry's fine announcement, and Eric says that he will gladly pay any Supreme Stars fines if they wrestle on Elite. Eric also says that the Tag Team Top Contender Elite bracket will continue on Thursday when Faith and Old Glory take on Fame and Money, and the challenges made by Rocky Golden will be featured as well. Stephen Pierce will face off against Des Davids, and Rocky Golden and Jack Bruce will team up against Remo and Justice Jolson. It looks like we're going to have Elite Wrestling on Thursday, and we got some great matches lined up. We take you back to the ring for the next match in the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament. Angry Gilmore and ZWB take on the Awesomeness, and both teams have some serious bad blood between them. The crowd is ready for these teams to lock up. Angry Gilmore and Huey Cannonball start off for their respective sides. Angry Gilmore uses his technical skills to keep Cannonball grounded. After near falls, Cannonball's speed allows him to make a tag. Stardust is in and takes control of the match with some impressive high-risk maneuvers and typical double-team action from the Awesomeness. Phil Vibert loves how Stardust and Cannonball use their speed to make quick tags and keep the contest 2-on-1. Gilmore is in trouble until he tags in ZWB, who uses his impressive in-ring ability to take on both opponents and give his team the advantage. It's clear to Dwayne Fry and Anna Garcia that ZWB is the star of this match. With both teams fighting in and out of the ring, the referee is having trouble keeping control of this contest. The momentum balances and both teams make tags. Gilmore versus Stardust, Stardust versus ZWB, ZWB versus Huey Cannonball. Both ZWB and Cannonball show impressive offense, but ZWB is able to counter everything his opponent gives him and looks to end this match. Just as ZWB has the Awesomeness on their heels, Randy Unleashed is walking out to the ring and Angry Gilmore spots him. Gilmore leaves his corner to confront Randy, but Jefferson Stardust runs around the outside to hit Gilmore from behind. Stardust slides back into the ring with his tag partner on the mat and ZWB ready for him. ZWB quickly knocks him over the ropes hard. Randy Unleashed is up at the apron now, turning his brother's attention away from the match while the referee is telling him to go backstage. With ZWB and the referee's back turned, Huey Cannonball reaches into his tights for some brass knuckles. ZWB is knocked out for a pinfall just as the referee turns his attention back to the match to make the 3 count. And even though the Awesomeness win this match, they take no time to celebrate as Randy Unleashed and Jefferson Stardust attack Angry Gilmore. Huey Cannonball retrieves a chair as ZWB lays in the ring and Angry Gilmore is rolled back in. Unleashed Awesomeness is set up the chair to break Gilmore's arm, but Mikey Lau runs in and beats on Cannonball and Stardust as Randy quickly leaves the ring. Unleashed Awesomeness retreats as Lau attends to his friends. Hey y'all, remember to like and subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments, and set your notifications so that you know every time it's on. Now we take you to Damian Carville, where he hosts a backstage interview with the entire Rat Pack. First, Hollywood Brett Starr talks about how the Rat Pack is a solid unit that is ready to take over the SWF. Starr already has one SWF title and there are more to come. Next, Paul Huntington and Monty Trescarde, also known as Fame and Money, discuss the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament and how they are excited to defeat Faith and Old Glory, Maddie Faith and Mass Patriot. Finally, Spencer Spade discusses Primus Allen and his agreement with Jerry Eisen. Spade says Allen still hasn't defeated him in a match and says the top contender spot for the North American title goes through him. Now it's time for our main event, a no disqualification match between Joey Morgan and Scythe.
Scythe took out Valiant a week ago and has been terrorizing Hannah ever since. Joey Morgan, who recently faced Scythe a few weeks back, agrees to protect Hannah, so she's in his corner tonight. As Scythe makes his dramatic entrance to the ring, Joey Morgan wastes no time and attacks him on the outside. There are no disqualifications, so the referee calls for the bell, and Joey Morgan is in control of this fight right away as these two big men brawl outside the ring. Scythe crashes into the steel steps, and Morgan is looking to crush the Dark Reaper's limbs between the stairs and the ring post. Anna Garcia cheers on as Morgan keeps control. Joey Morgan sets up a table and meets Scythe on the apron. Morgan tries to suplex the big man, but a reversal puts Morgan through the table. With Scythe in control now, Phil Viber is enjoying this match finally. Scythe has a chair now, and Joey Morgan crawls into the ring. Morgan cuts off Scythe at the apron and uses the chair to send Scythe into the guardrail. Dwayne Fry can't believe what he's seeing. Joey Morgan dives over the top rope, but Scythe catches the crossbody and slams Morgan to the apron. Back in the ring, Scythe puts the chair in the center and chokeslams Morgan right on it. No coming back from that, a pinfall win for Scythe.
Now Scythe is proving his point here by going back to work on Joey Morgan after winning his match. He sets up another chokeslam on the chair as Hannah enters the ring and begs Scythe to stop. Morgan is lifted and slammed, and Hannah comes to his side. Scythe stands over them and points to Hannah. She panics and leaves the ring, with Scythe stalking her up the entranceway. That will do it for SWF Supreme TV. We're out of time, but we'll see you on Thursday for Elite. In some severe weather news, dangerous floods swept across the Midlands last night, causing a massive disruption and travel chaos. Live shows and sporting fixtures in the area were affected. Last night, Total Championship Wrestling held TCW Presents Total Wrestling in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and drew 6,698 fans. The MVP of the show was Aaron Andrews, and they won the rating for the night with a 3.59 TV rating, which was shown on Ace. Last night's SWF Supreme TV was held in Clover Fields and drew 11,673 fans. Feedback from viewers has been awesome, with the show getting fantastic views, earning a 3.57 in the TV ratings, with the story of the night being Rocky Golden and Jack Bruce saving Des Davids from Remo and the promos that followed. There's some news on some upcoming CWA storylines, and rumor has it that CWA are planning to run a major Christian Price versus Aaron Knight storyline in the coming months, and according to inside sources, the rivalry will be one of the primary focal points of the shows for the foreseeable future. There will also be a CWA storyline centering around shooter Sean Dealey going head-to-head with Skip Bowe, and this feud will likely be a focal point for somewhere between 6 and 9 months. It's said that a poster for a forthcoming event accidentally leaked 2 other storylines in CWA, the first being a long-term Cameron Vesey versus Ed Stone feud. In addition, another long-term feud will likely be Jared Johnson versus Dante Dunn as one of the main storylines over the next couple months. United States Pro Wrestling has announced that they are set to debut a brand new TV show, USPW All Action Night, when they signed a deal with Reverie last night to broadcast the show on Fridays. This is a major step forward for the company, and it's reported to have the locker room buzzing in excitement. Last night, United States Pro Wrestling held American Wrestling in the Louisiana Auditorium and drew 9,690 fans. Feedback from viewers has been pretty good. People seem to have enjoyed the show, and Pariah was said to be the star of the show when she defeated Tiffany Jade by countout in the main event. American Wrestling had over 10 million viewers on Reverie. Sources within USPW are reporting that Clutch McCain and Amelia Fairchild have recently begun dating. Their relationship became common knowledge at last night's show. Texas Pete seems to be getting some heat with a few people in the USPW locker room. There appears to be tension between Pete and Tyson Bane, with reports saying that there was a huge row between the two last night. It's not known how serious this situation is, but Texas Pete appears to also have tension with El Bryden, and both feuds with Texas Pete are said to be affecting the morale backstage within the company. The Canadian Wrestling Alliance held championship wrestling last night in Ottawa Rams Stadium and drew 10,000 fans. Feedback has been positive, with most having enjoyed the vast majority of the show. Cameron Vesey seems to have been the star when he and Ricky DeColt defeated Skip Bowe and Dante Dunn in the main event in an excellent match. The show achieved a 1.47 TV rating but was a sellout for the live audience. Sources within the CWA locker room are reporting that Steve DeColt and Dwayne Stone have been bonding recently. Reliable witnesses say that the two are now travel buddies and have been spending a lot of time in each other's company. Last night, Rhode Island Pro Wrestling held RIPW Uprising in Rhode Island and drew 67 fans. Willie LaRue was said to be the star, and the show drew 9,562 viewers on WrestleWorld. Sources within RIPW are reporting that Stevie Stanley has started seeing Mean Gene Catley as a mentor figure. Mean Gene Catley has reportedly been passing on tips, career advice, and generally giving the benefit of his experience to his new protege. Behind the Curtain number 200, the 200th episode of Behind the Curtain, Joanne Rodriguez's award-winning podcast has now dropped. Featuring a special 2-hour interview with Eric Eisen, it's a must-listen to anyone who has any interest in pro wrestling, and the internet is already buzzing after some of Eisen's more controversial statements. Joanne Rodriguez has recently joined the SWF team as a commentator on their new show, Elite. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of SWF Elite. We are live in Norman, Oklahoma, in front of 11,500 fans. Today, we'll see if Des Davids can earn his top contender match against Remo when he takes on Stephen Parker, and Rocky Golden and Jack Bruce team up to take on Remo and Justice Jolson. We'll also have another match in the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament when Faith and Old Glory take on Fame and Money. And let's kick things off with some in-ring action. Des Davids comes to the ring and his opponent, Stephen Parker. This matchup will help determine if Des Davids earns a match against Remo, the top contender for the world title. Des Davids has been on a bit of a streak here, and the bell rings and Des Davids goes right for his opponent, but Stephen Parker has speed and avoids taking Davids head on. We see some fine technical skills from Stephen Parker as he uses a few submission holds to take control, but Davids powers out each time. The chess match begins as Parker tries to outmaneuver the more powerful Davids. The pace quickens as Parker tries some lightning-fast moves to get the advantage, but Des Davids absorbs any damage. Parker locks in submissions, but Davids powers out. Davids hits Parker with a devastating slam, but only for near falls. Franklin Fumier is struggling to follow the action, but Joanne Rodriguez cheers on Davids while Damian Carville insists Parker is the underdog. The supposed underdog Parker rolls out of the ring and uses his manager Kristen Pierce as a shield when Davids gives chase. As the Supreme Stars re-enter the ring, Parker surprises Davids with a springboard dropkick, but the fight is still a deadlock. In a climactic moment, Des Davids catches Stephen Parker and lifts him, delivers a brainbuster that makes Parker pop up and splash the referee in the corner. As soon as the ref is down, Justice Jolson, the muscle of the Supreme Dream Team, runs to the ring. Stephen Parker and Justice Jolson are able to double team Davids, and Des Davids takes a death penalty from Jolson. Kristen Pierce rolls the ref back inside the ring and he counts the pinfall, but wait! Rocky Golden is stepping into the ring to explain what happened to referee Alvin Lavin. Lavin looks around as Parker and Justice Jolson claim to be innocent, but Lavin calls for the match to continue. It's not over.
Parker tries to surprise Des Davids right away, but neither fully takes control as they battle it out. With Parker springboarding from the apron, Des Davids delivers a quarterback sack and makes the cover. Davids wins by pinfall. Rocky Golden raises Des Davids' hand before Remo comes from the crowd to attack both men from behind. Remo nails both men with a lumbar puncture and tosses Golden from the ring before setting up Des Davids for the Destroyer, but Jack Bruce hits the ring. Now the main event hit the ring with chairs and take out Jack Bruce. Justice Jolson and Stephen Parker hold Rocky Golden and Des Davids back as Mainstream Hernandez and Dominic D'Souza set Bruce's bad knee up in a chair. They look to take Bruce out as they wrench that knee in one chair and Remo hits it with another. The referees are in the ring to stop the madness. The Supreme Dream Team and Remo look on as Rocky Golden and Des Davids are back in the ring as Jack Bruce gets medical attention. Jack Bruce is put on a stretcher, and Eric Eisen appears with a microphone at the entrance stage. Eric says he will not allow the show's main event to be ruined and announces that with Jack Bruce out, Des Davids will team with Rocky Golden to take on Remo and Stephen Parker in the main event. While the ringside staff continues cleaning up this mess, we'll take a look at the Tag Team Top Contender brackets. Our next match is on the Elite side of the brackets, with Faith and Old Glory taking on Fame and Money. Both teams make their entrances to the ring, and we're ready to start this one off as the bell rings with Masked Patriot and Monte Trescardi kicking things off. Masked Patriot looks impressive right away as he embarrasses Trescardi with arm drags and drop kicks until Trescardi is able to hit a vicious uppercut. Both teams make tags and Paul Huntington and Maddie Faith trade blows and slams. Fame and Money show why they make a great team together using double team tactics to neutralize the power of Maddie Faith. Damian Carville gives his expertise to explain why he thinks these Rat Pack members will win this match. Maddie Faith powers up and knocks both Monte Trescardi and Paul Huntington on their backs to make a hot tag to Masked Patriot. Patriot continues to take on both opponents using speed and high-risk moves to stay in control and knock Fame and Money to the outside. As both teams battle on the outside, Joanne Rodriguez laughs at Damian Carville's prediction while Franklin Fumier tries to figure out who the legal men are. Referee Shane Stone seems to follow the match and he tells Masked Patriot to toss Monte Trescardi back inside. Masked Patriot moonsaults from the apron into Paul Huntington as Trescardi complains to the ref, allowing Spencer Spade to sneak ringside and interfere. That gives Fame and Money the advantage as Huntington is tagged in to deliver the power moves to Patriot. Faith saves a pinfall and tosses Monte Trescardi over the top into Spencer Spade, allowing Patriot to pick himself up and tag in Maddie Faith. Faith and Old Glory double team Huntington before Patriot dives into Trescardi and Spade, setting up a leap of faith for a pinfall victory. After winning their World Tag Team Top Contender Tournament match, Faith and Old Glory answer some questions from Eric Eisen. First, the Elite owner asks about the team's chances in the tournament. Maddie Faith answers by putting their next opponents, Swagger Incorporated, on notice and says he's sure that they will make it into the finals and finally defeat Domination to take the tag team title belts. Eric then asks about Hannah being with them ringside, and Maddie Faith and Hannah tell Eric that Faith and Old Glory said they would protect Hannah from Side, who seems to be stalking her. It's time for our next match, and we have John Greed coming to the ring, followed by Oliver Cobb. Our referee Darren Smith calls for the bell, and both men lock up to get this match started. Neither man is able to get an advantage early in this match as both men try to take control with some technical wrestling until John Greed begins to brawl, and Oliver Cobb has no choice but to put up his fist. We see John Greed seem to have the advantage here as he is beating Oliver Cobb corner to corner. Greed uses some power moves to keep Cobb to the mat, and Cobb keeps kicking out before a count of 3. Finally, John Greed says that's enough, and it looks like he is about to end this match, but Oliver Cobb is able to roll him up in a tight cradle, and Darren Smith counts 1, 2, 3, and that's a victory for Oliver Cobb. Another fast roll
roll-up finish to get a surprise victory. Oliver Cobb wins the match, but it looks like a fan is coming out of the crowd. No, wait, that is Robbie Wright. Robbie slides into the ring behind Cobb, and Cobb takes a low blow. Cobb rolls out of the ring as Wright takes a mic. He smacks talk old fastball. Alright, as we come back, we've been alerted to some trouble in the backstage area and have a camera crew arriving right now. Scythe is fighting both Maddie Faith and Masked Patriot as Hannah tries to stay away from the Dark Reaper. No one seems to get the upper hand before the camera feed gets cut out. Hopefully everyone's okay. In this quick promotional video, we see several Supreme stars endorse the new Supreme Workout Series hosted by Kip Keenan. At the end of the video, Keenan appears during Chrissy Angel's testimonial, and they appear rather friendly. Keenan even agrees to be Angel's personal trainer. And now it's time for the main event. First up, we have Steven Parker and Remo making their way to the ring, teaming up against Rocky Golden, the SWF World Title Champion, and Des Davids, his last opponent for that title. Both teams are ready, and there's the bell. Remo and Des Davids stand across the ring, staring each other down, but Remo tags in Steven Parker and steps back outside. Parker takes his spot inside the ring, and if the team of Golden and Davids can win this match, then Davids will face Remo for that top contender spot before our upcoming Nothing to Lose pay-per-view. It looks like Steven Parker is trying to take it slow. He's already lost a match tonight to Des Davids, and whatever arrangement the Supreme Dream Team have with Remo, I'm sure he doesn't want to disappoint the bully of the SWF again. Parker seems to be avoiding conflict, but Rocky Golden is able to get a hold of him from his corner, and Des Davids is able to take the advantage in the match. At the earliest opportunity, Steven Parker tags in Remo, and Remo steps into the ring and goes right at Des Davids. Des Davids and Remo battle it out, with Remo able to get the upper hand here. He points at Rocky Golden and tells him that he has taken that championship belt away from him. Des Davids gets to his feet and tries to hit Remo from behind, but Remo tosses Davids into Golden, and referee Shane Stone says that that's a tag. Golden is the legal man, but he's on the outside, and Remo goes and gives chase. That allows Steven Parker to sneak up on Des Davids and attack him inside the ring. The referee is caught between trying to get the legal men back inside the ring and the illegal men out of the ring into their corners. This match is seeming to devolve here, and the referee starts a 10 count, but Rocky Golden is able to get Remo back inside the ring as Des Davids tosses Steven Parker out. Remo and Rocky Golden grapple as both men try to get control, but it's Remo who takes the advantage here, but Golden's superior tactics allow him to tag in Des Davids. Davids hits the ring with a head of steam and he takes on Remo, and it looks like Remo and the Supreme Dream Team have a little bit of insurance as Justice Jolson is coming down to the ring. He was supposed to be in this match tonight, but it looks like he is in the enforcer role, and it looks like Davids is going to keep control of this match, but Jolson is up on the apron and inside the ring. The referee is distracted with the master manipulator, Chrissy Pierce, distracting Rocky Golden, and Steven Parker going over to get involved as well. Jolson attempts to hit Des Davids with a vicious clothesline, but Davids ducks it and hits Remo instead. The referee turns back around and Justice Jolson is able to jump out of the ring before he gets caught, but Remo is dazed as Davids sets up a quarterback sack and he hits it, allowing Remo to be pinned by Davids, and that's a 3 count and a win for Des Davids. Des Davids defeats Remo to earn a match for the world title top contender spot. Remo is furious and he's not finished with Davids. They look like they're about to fight right now as they butt heads and stare each other down. Rocky Golden and Steven Parker try to keep their respective tag partners apart as Eric Eisen runs to ringside begging both men to save it for an official match. That's all the time we have for on SWF Elite. We'll see you next for Supreme TV on Tuesday. Hey y'all, remember to like and subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments, and set your notifications so that you know every time it's on. Last night, Supreme Wrestling Federation held SWF Elite in Norman, Oklahoma, and drew 11,459 fans. Feedback from viewers has been good. SWF Elite earned a 2.94 TV rating and was shown on USA Sports 1. United States Pro Wrestling held USPW all-night action in Perry Hall and drew 2,000 fans. Feedback from the show has been pretty good, and the star of the show was Josh Thompson, who had an excellent performance in his match. All Night Action had over 1 million viewers and was shown on Reverie. During the show, Atlas and Kirk Jameson teamed up, and it's been confirmed that they are officially a tag team named the Wild Things. Last night, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling held the Ripcord Invitational 17 in Stanley Hall and drew 316 fans. The feedback has been awesome, as this small company has clearly outshone some of the bigger companies' recent efforts. The winner of the Ripcord Invitational and the MVP of the show was Mitchell Allred, who defeated Trix Triumph, Miller Fjord, and Cheetah Boy to take this accolade. Here's the results from USPW's Stars, Stripes, and Slams. The show was held in Manhattan National Center and drew 28,052 fans. The feedback has been pretty good, with the star of the show being Nikki Champion, who defeated Steve Fraley to retain the USPW World title in the main event. Stars, Stripes, and Slams had over 11 million viewers on Reverie. At the show, we learned Risk and Reward are the newest tag team force in USPW. The duo consists of Frederic and Peter Novak, and they'll be a regular team within the tag team ranks of USPW. Behind the scenes, there appears to be tension between Jack Jackson and Trent Schaefer, with sources in the USPW locker room reporting that there was a huge fight between the two last night. There was also some big TCW news. Maple Leaf Sports gets TCW Presents Total Wrestling. The deal sees the show expand its potential audience and is seen as a cause to celebrate in the TCW offices. In addition, TCW and U-Demand Canada are said to have come to an agreement, with the latter contracted to show their future events. The deal that was inked last night is said to be a big boost for this promotion. Total Championship Wrestling held Malice in Wonderland last night in Alabama Field Row and drew 27,834 fans. Feedback for the show has been excellent. Aaron Andrews was the star of the show in his tag team match, where he teamed up with Sammy Bach and defeated H2O. The main event was also excellent, where Jay Cord defeated Greg Gage in a first blood match to retain the TCW World Heavyweight title. The show achieved a 1.73 buy rate and was shown on U-Demand Canada and USA Free Choice. There were also two tag teams that debuted at Malice in Wonderland. The Last Hard Men are a duo consisting of Mark Speed and Chris Flynn, and also the Bright Lights consisting of Quentin Queen and Maverick. Both teams are expected to get a significant push within the tag team ranks over the coming months. We are live from Utah Park Reservation in front of 11,500 fans. It is Supreme TV on Tuesday night. We're kicking off February with a bang. In our main event, we will see Remo take on Des Davids with the top contender spot for the World Heavyweight title on the line. We'll also have Hawaiian Crush take on the Awesomeness in our next round of the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament. We'll also see both of our current Tag Team Champions in action, as well as the World Heavyweight title holder Rocky Golden. And here comes the champ to open the show. The SWF World Title Champion Rocky Golden opens the show with an in-ring promo. Golden talks about what happened this past Thursday at SWF Elite. First, he wishes his friend and fellow competitor Jack Bruce a speedy recovery. He's both horrified at what Remo did
and proud to see Des Davids get his shot tonight. But he wants both competitors to know whoever wins the match tonight will have an intense fight on their hands. Golden won't give up the SWF World title easily. Golden then addresses the Supreme Dream Team, specifically Stephen Parker. He tells the fans that Parker has accepted a special challenge in tonight's first match. The Eisen Brothers didn't want Rocky Golden to put the title on the line, but Parker has still accepted the challenge, and while Golden is disgusted at what Parker and his friends did on Thursday's show, he's happy to see that Parker has the guts to face him man-to-man in the ring. Now Stephen Parker makes his entrance to the ring with his manager, the master of manipulation, Kristen Pierce. Golden is going to have to watch out for her, and Phil Vibert praises Stephen Parker's scientific wrestling skills, and Dwayne Fry agrees that this should be a good opening match. Golden starts off aggressively with a quick headlock, but Parker wriggles out and puts on an armbar of his own, but Golden powers out of it. Parker is able to toss Golden with arm drags and speed between the ropes, but a shoulder block from Golden brings Parker to the mat. Parker rolls to the outside and walks around the ring to his manager, Kristen Pierce, as Golden gives chase but is blocked by Pierce. Pierce and Golden argue as Stephen Parker wanders back into the ring to break the count and then sneaks up behind Golden with a double axe handle. Parker takes control on the outside now, driving Golden into every hard surface from the guardrail to the apron to the steel posts and stairs. Kristen Pierce taunts Golden as Parker stays in control and Hannah Garcia is disgusted. Golden turns the momentum when he avoids a high-risk move from Stephen Parker. Golden is able to toss Parker back into the ring before the 10 count, but Parker rakes the eyes before Golden can put him away. Parker locks in a submission hold in the center of the ring. Slowly, Golden is able to use the crowd's energy to free himself and bring the fight to Parker. Parker takes some punishment for a series of near falls. He follows Golden into the ropes and drives a knee into the sternum in desperation. Golden tumbles to the outside right in front of Kristen Pierce, who has some words for Golden, but the referee is telling her to clear out. This gives Parker a breather and an opportunity to take control. The brawl continues outside the ring, but it's Parker who rolls Golden back in. Parker climbs to the top turnbuckle for a high-risk move, but Golden stops Parker before he can dive and superplexes him into the middle of the ring. Parker is in trouble, but Pierce is on the apron to argue with the referee. This distracts Golden and allows Parker to connect with a super kick, but that'll only get a 2 count, and Parker goes back to work on Golden's arm. A series of reversals and strikes looks impressive, but Golden decisively gets the advantage when he delivers a hard clothesline to the running Parker. Golden only gets a tube, and Parker turns a standing reversal into a submission hold, but Rocky Golden uses his power to break free. A combo of chops and elbows sets up Stephen Parker, and Golden lifts his opponent for the Rocky Road and a pinfall victory. Now, Damian Carville is backstage where Maddie Faith wants to apologize to Hannah for letting her down last Thursday. Faith says he and his tag partner, Masked Patriot, need to focus on winning their upcoming match and cannot protect Hannah anymore. ZWB is also there, and he says that he understands the importance of the tag tournament and is happy to help Hannah by being her bodyguard. Now both team members of Domination, Adam Smasher and Bear Bukowski, make their entrances before their tune-up matches. We'll see which man can claim a victory faster. Bear Bukowski is going to go first, and his opponent comes to the ring, Sammy Smoke. The bell rings, and Bear Bukowski gets right to work. He wails on Sammy, who tries to cover up and just take the impact, but Bear Bukowski is relentless with strikes to the midsection. He's trying to soften him up, it looks like. Sammy Smoke tries to put up a bit of a fight, even though he clearly looks like he is in some trouble here, but Bukowski keeps his advantage, and eventually he's able to pick up Sammy Smoke and lock in the bear trap. Sammy Smoke taps right away, and there's the bell. This one is over. Bukowski and Adam Smasher bump fists as they switch places, and now it's Smasher's turn. His opponent is Gary the Entertainer, who comes to the ring, and
There's the bell, and Adam Smasher, he gets right to work. This is going to be an extremely short match, it looks like. He takes down Gary the Entertainer with a quick tackle. Gary already looks like he's in trouble, and he is turning to try to leave the ring, but he's dragged back in by Adam Smasher, who scoops him up and slams him down. A quick bounce off the ropes, and a leg drop has Gary the Entertainer curled up in the fetal position. Adam Smasher picks him up and delivers the Mushroom Cloud for a 3 count. And that's a victory for Adam Smasher in just over 3 minutes. It looks like Smasher was the most dominant of domination. There seems to be a brawl backstage, and we have a camera crew arriving on the scene. Unleashed Awesomeness is attacking ZWB and Angry Gilmore in the locker room. Hannah is there trying to stay out of the way. Here comes Mikey Lau to make the save, and Hannah leaves the locker room and runs right into Scythe. We're not sure of the results of that brawl, but we'll let you know when we have more information. Let's take you to the ring for our next match. We have Forrest Ratzlaff taking on Lenny Brown. We have the bell, and both of these Supreme Stars are going back and forth trying to get an advantage early, but it looks like Lenny Brown will take control first, and he is trying to take Forrest Ratzlaff to task here. Both of these guys just like to fight. They're more brawlers than wrestlers, and Forrest Ratzlaff is quite tough. He takes everything that Lenny Brown gives him and comes back with some power of his own. Ratzlaff keeps on the pressure, but the referee is trying to pull him off and has to get in between these Supreme Stars to break things up. Brown tries to mount a comeback between suplexes and slams. Eventually he's able to catch Ratzlaff with the DDT. That turns the tide in his favor. Ratzlaff's still trying to fight back even though he's dazed, and Lenny Brown is able to surprise him with the star treatment. That's gonna get a 1-2-3 pinfall victory for Lenny Brown. The next Supreme workout with Kip Keenan video plays, and it's Keenan giving workout instructions to Chrissy Angel. After a brief exercise, the conversation becomes rather flirtatious. I don't think we were meant to see this video. And after seeing that video, we have our next match, and Brandon James is coming to the ring, and he is walking well ahead of his manager Chrissy Angel. He looks very upset, and Jungle Lord makes his entrance to the ring, and before the bell even starts, Brandon James is laying on the strikes. This one is getting off to a fast and furious start, but Jungle Lord isn't going to take a beating laying down. He reverses things on Brandon James, and he gets control of the match. But no matter what Jungle Lord delivers to Brandon James, it just looks like Brandon James's anger is powering him up. And even with Chrissy Angel cheering in his corner, anytime she makes any kind of noise, Brandon James goes back over and basically tells her to quit it. That's putting it nicely. There's definitely some animosity between Brandon James and his manager Chrissy Angel, and Jungle Lord tries to take advantage, but Brandon James is able to reverse a German suplex and deliver one of his own. That's gonna set up the big money move, and Brandon James wins this one by pinfall in just over 12 minutes. Next up, Primus Allen enters the ring for a promo where he explains that he is the top contender for the SWF North American title and wants Hollywood Bret Starr to sign the match. Allen says that he defeated a member of the Rat Pack and has the backing of the Supreme owner Jerry Eisen for the match. Spencer Spade comes down to the ring to confront Primus Allen. Spade explains that he may have beaten a member of the Rat Pack, but he's never defeated the member of the Rat Pack. Spade challenges Allen to a North American top contender match, and after some back and forth, these two Supreme Stars agree to have a match at next week's Supreme TV. Our next match is part of the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament, and we have Hawaiian Crush come to the ring first, and their opponents are the Awesomeness. Huey Cannonball and Ikuma start things off in this match. There's the bell, and we see Huey Cannonball trying to avoid getting tangled up with Ikuma, who is much bigger. but Cannonball's quickness is able to allow him to avoid any serious damage and tag in Jefferson Stardust, allowing a bit of a double team to get the awesomeness, the first advantage in this match. Ikumo won't get taken down that easily though, and he fights back, fighting off both members of the awesomeness until Huey Cannonball is tossed from the ring, and then he makes a tag to High Flying Hawaiian, allowing Jefferson Stardust to get double teamed. As Ikumo goes back to his corner, High Flying Hawaiian uses his speed and quickness. Both of these men can fly, and we see some high risk maneuvers from High Flying Hawaiian and Jefferson Stardust, both inside the ring and out. Their teammates both trying to get involved and force the advantage before quick tags are made, and here comes Ikuma and Huey Cannonball. Cannonball's able to dodge the attack from Ikuma and hit a super kick. Several more kicks and strikes take Ikuma down to one knee, but after bouncing off the ropes, Ikuma is able to lift and slam Huey Cannonball to the mat. Stardust is in the ring, and he is able to make sure that Ikuma doesn't finish things off here. That brings in High Flying Hawaiian to make sure that Jefferson Stardust can't set up a double team, and both High Flying Hawaiian and Jefferson Stardust tumble out of the ring as referee Darren Smith seems to have lost control of this thing. Ikuma and Huey Cannonball are the legal men here, and both are trying to get to their feet as Randy Unleashed comes out and starts to threaten High Flying Hawaiian. High Flying Hawaiian is getting in Randy Unleashed's face, while Jefferson Stardust goes back to his corner so that Huey Cannonball can make the tag. And that has the referee distracted as he's trying to tell Randy Unleashed to go back to the locker rooms. Jefferson Stardust goes into the tights. It looks like he's got a foreign object, and as Ikumo tries to deliver a powerful blow, Stardust knocks him right between the eyes with a loaded fist, and he crashes to the mat. Darren Smith turns around to see Jefferson Stardust making the pin, and that's going to be it. A 3 count seals the victory for the Awesomeness, and they're going to move on to the finals of the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament. After the Awesomeness wins their match to advance to the finals of the Tag Team Top Contender Tournament, Randy Unleashed comes back out and joins them in attacking Ikuma and High Flying Hawaiian. Almost immediately, ZWB, Angry Gilmore, and Mikey Lau run in and chase Unleashed Awesomeness off. ZWB takes a microphone as Gilmore and Lau stay as backup. ZWB says his brother Randy has become despicable. His friends may have eliminated Gilmore and he from the tag tourney, but this isn't over. ZWB addresses his brother and says he doesn't want to fight his brother, but the best fighter among the three is Mikey Lau, and this is an official challenge for a match at Nothing to Lose. No DQ, no time limits, there needs to be a winner. We'll see if Randy Unleashed accepts this challenge in the near future. Hey all, remember to like and subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments, and set your notifications so that you know every time it's on. And it's time for our main event. The crowd is ready to see Remo take on Des Davids, and this will determine who faces Rocky Golden at our next big event, Nothing to Lose. And after our competitors make their entrances, Jerry Eisen begins walking down to the ring. The crowd is ready for this one, and there's the bell. Des Davids and Remo take it slow with a stare down, a few pushes, and taunts. After Remo knocks Des Davids back with a hard push, Davids charges and returns the favor. Chops and strikes follow as both men test each other. The action builds, and Davids and Remo trade slams with neither gaining an advantage. An elbow from Davids surprises Remo, and Remo is on his heels as Davids lands a suplex, a body drop, and a brainbuster for near falls. Remo won't stay down and reverses an Irish whip into a vicious lariat to take control. Remo delivers a pile driver in the middle of the ring, but Davids kicks out at 2. More punishment from Remo sends David through the ropes and to the outside. There's some taunting by Remo before he joins Davids outside the ring, and Dwayne Fry notes Jerry Eisen looking on as he is a hands-on owner. Davids bails as Remo tries to deliver a running lariat and crashes into the guardrail. Davids resets the count and takes advantage with a knee from the apron and by driving Remo's head into the post. Remo is tossed inside and is still on his back as Davids climbs into the ring and sets up his opponent for the destroyer.
Again, Remo reverses and keeps this contest at a dead heat with a series of holds, reversals, and slams between both brawlers. Des Davids avoids a lumbar puncture and catches Remo with a quarterback sack that launches these big men into the referee, who spills through the ropes. Davids can hit a destroyer, but he sees the ref is gone. Jerry Eisen opens his sports coat and tears the buttons off his shirt to reveal a referee's shirt. Davids is arguing with Eisen to get into the ring as the new official, but Remo surprises him with a roll-up, and Jerry Eisen leans in under the bottom rope to make a fast 3 count and calls for the bell. Jerry Eisen not only took his sweet time replacing the official, he barely got in the ring and made a quick count to give Remo the victory. Jerry Eisen is leaving the ringside area, shouting something at Des Davids, who's looking shocked. Jerry Eisen is given a microphone as he stands at the entrance, far away from the furious Davids. Jerry says he won't let his wrestlers get title shots on his brother's TV show, and Remo is just celebrating this tainted victory.